Hello, welcome back to the channel Up the Reds TV with me, Andy Canby. So this one is the post-match of Liverpool 1, Newcastle 2. I've actually made myself a cup of coffee because I don't know how long this video is going to last. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, could be longer. But it's one of those where it's time for reflection on what went on yesterday, what's generally gone on in the last 2 weeks. A bit of a disturbing chapter that's emerging. So anyway, I'll let me just take a couple of swigs of my black coffee. So, first of all, well done Newcastle United. Absolutely thoroughly deserved to beat us in the final yesterday. Their supporters were superb, just like ours were. They backed the team for 93 minutes. Majority of the time, our supporters backed us. And so my day started with a nice meal, nice company. Then went to watch the game at Cheers, Big Ears in Liverpool. You'll know where that is. Sat down, the game started, and do you know, I had a feeling in the first 6-7 minutes we weren't going to win this game, because man for man, we were second best in every department, and I seriously mean that, and I'll touch on that when I go through the way we conceded the goals. Look, Newcastle had a game plan, so their game plan from off the field to on the field was absolutely spot on. And by that I mean Eddie Howe had done one over on Slot in the third game that we've played against them this season. And Arnslot did not learn from the previous 2 games. Okay, we won the home one in the league, but we also threw the one at their place when it was 3-3, and we should have wrapped the game up. So yeah, let's get on to it then. Okay, as I said, congratulations Newcastle. You deserve to be this year's Carabao Cup winners. But we talk about our team, Liverpool. So as I say, I was a bit concerned. 5-6 minutes, they got corners. Dan Burn was unmarked. Well, I say unmarked. He was picked up by Macca, and you could see what they were trying to do from the first corner was to get it onto Dan Burn's head. And Dan Burn, he's 6'7", 6'8". He should not be scoring goals from 15 yards out. And that's what happened with the goal. Macca was marking him. There was, the way, and I'd even got to blame Kelleher. I thought his positioning was not good for that goal going in to the far side. And yeah, second best all over the park. We got absolutely bullied in all departments. So our game plan in the first half was, from goal kicks, was Verge to pass it to Kelleher to launch it to the 2 of the smallest players that were on the pitch, in Jota and Salah. They were not going to win aerial duels with Newcastle's backline. Never in a million years. we were doing that constantly in the first half, and it was frustrating. So Newcastle deserved to come in at half time in the lead on their performance in that first 45 minutes. Second half, I would have thought Armstrong would have made the changes, honestly, because you could see we had no form of playing, no pattern of play. It was disjointed. It was like the team had been put together for the first time without a training session. We started okay. The stats in a game don't sort of like give it any justice to ourselves. I mean, Newcastle have beaten, to get to this final, second in the league, fourth in the league, and then in the final they came up the team that's top of the league, and they beat them to win the trophy. That's how tough it was for Newcastle to get to the final. And can you see, they've done those three teams to win that trophy. So Liverpool's 7 shots, only 2 on target. Newcastle's 17 shots, 8 on target, or 6 on target, something like that. 53% duels won from all over the pitch. It's frightening stats, that really is, for a team that on paper Liverpool should have beaten. And they didn't have Anthony Gordon playing. So I understand, right, teams lose finals. I get that. I understand if a team puts in a shift and loses a final, we can hold up our hands and say, look, yeah, we gave it a good try, and we got beat, and we accept that and we move on. But I can't accept that performance. I have been supporting Liverpool since the age of 5. And I've got a biggie coming up in May. Not a biggie, a biggie in May for my birthday. So that is probably the worst final I've seen a Liverpool team. And I've seen lots of finals that we've been involved in. Look, Jurgen Klopp had a dodgy final, didn't he? In his first, when he took over the club, he lost a final before he won lots of other trophies. But that was his sort of like period of blending into the club, winning games, getting a team organised, and which he did do because he got to a final. But this when they underperform like that, I'm just thinking Dalglish has lost finals, hasn't he? Paisley has lost finals, and rightly so. But this one's a bit difficult for me to take. I woke up this morning. I'm normally in a reflective mood when I watch us play. I normally get over the game and look forward to the next game. But this morning, I woke up in a bit of an angry mood, and that's not me. Honestly, I have opinions like you guys. I reflect on what we've done, And I understand Arne Slot is our new head coach. He calls himself a manager, but Arne, your job description says you're a head coach. Yeah, he's come in. He's admitted he's got a good squad of players. That squad of players last year got knocked out of all competitions. Europe, Europa League. The only one that they won was with the kids, was the Carabao one, but the big ones, they faded away, and faded away badly. So this squad last year wasn't good enough to reach those big finals. And this season, it's the same squad. And you can see the pattern is emerging, but we've got a different gaffer in charge. So he told us that he'd watched lots of videos of the team last season, but the same is happening. By that I mean we're just coming short again, aren't we, at the business end of the season. And you have to look at the squad. Forget where we are in the league, 12 points ahead, we've got 9 games to go. It would have to be a catastrophic failure by this set of players not to win this league now, because there are no other competitions to worry about. There are good breaks in between the matches, the games. Obviously, the first game is after this international shite break, which is Everton, and that's the most important game of those 9, because it is the first one back after the international break, and we need to win it. We do need to win that game. Players are going to be all over the world. They'll get back together. We don't normally play well after an international break because the coach doesn't have enough time to work on the players. Players might be coming back with injuries, fatigue, you name it. You know, I mean, it's just absolute shite of an international break to have in March. Not just for us, but for all teams. You know, what is the point? Absolutely, it's my bugbear, so apologies for that. Yeah, so as I was saying, I don't accept the performance, and probably that's why I'm still angry from the game yesterday. Midfield, Joel Linton, every tackle that he made, he roared like a lion, as if it was as if he was in a Roman amphitheatre, and he just got rid of, he just killed one of the slaves there, or one of the centurions. Guimaraes, same, looked after the ball, got free kicks, did dirty tackles. By the way, Joel Linton nearly took Harvey Elliott's neck off, and he didn't even get a booking for that. That is bordering on, assault, that challenge. But we weren't going to win the game. So, Dan Burns, like I say, he scored the goal, which he shouldn't have been. He shouldn't from that distance. Isak, been injured for a couple of weeks, but was a menace to our back line. Harvey Barnes, Murphy, Trippier, Livramento, all those positions, their opposite numbers were nowhere to be seen. And So you could see one team wanted it more, one team was going to get it, and one team won it. Our team was, for me, the team's been wrong for the last 3 games. You look at the Southampton game, we were piss poor in the first half. We managed to turn it round in the second half, and that was a strong team. We went with the strong team again against PSG, and we come short again. Same team. So yesterday's final, if I'm honest with you, I was surprised to see the world's best goalkeeper on the bench for this. I know a conversation will probably been had by Arne Slot and Kelleher to play in the final, but you come in cold from the final. And by that, you haven't had any game time recently. I think it was Arne Slot's biggest mistake putting Kelleher in goals. Could he have done better with the first goal? Yeah. Could he have done better with the second goal? Would Alisson have saved it? I know it went, but his reactions were slow. And the reasons his actions were slow is because he's not had game time. And you need game time. You need muscle memory, or memory muscle, to be on your side. And he didn't have that in the game at all. Alisson also gives you that presence that he's a world-class keeper. He will let his teammates in front of him know, if they're making mistakes, he will have a go. Kelleher's like the quiet one. Doesn't really say much. But his mistake was kicking the ball 80 metres up the field. And their players were just getting it. Their midfielders were turning us. It was like knock, 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 knock all the time. And we didn't change that in the second half. We tried to do exactly the same. And then we had a plethora of substitutions made by Arne Slot. The worst, I watched the game again this morning in its full entirety, without the noise of people screaming and shouting me in and around. And it was an even worse watch this morning. It really, really was. I thought the players were bad when I watched it live. But second time of watching it, they were piss poor. And I don't say that lightly, because just like you, I'm a red through and through. I'll back the team. I'll give you my honest opinion. You might be watching this now and saying, what a load of tripe, what a load of shite he's talking. Get behind the team, get behind the team. You can get behind the team for so long, but sometimes honesty is the best form of action. I haven't watched Arne Slot's interview because I can't, because of his last interviews. Let's go back to the Southampton pre-match when he said Liverpool have 3 finals to play this week. Well, guess what? We just managed to scrape over one final against Southampton, and we lost the other 2. And you could say that the Southampton one was the biggest because it's the Premier League, and the other 2 weren't as important. But in my eyes, we're Liverpool Football Club. We're here to win multiple trophies. That's always been the mantra since Bill Shankly came to the club and Bob Paisley took over the mantle. We went astray after that. After Kenny Dalglish became player manager, and we went astray. Yeah, we won. We had Rafa, We had Souness winning things, but it was, and Gerard Houllier, he came in and he gave it the European style of play, and we were okay. We weren't picking up, you know, the Holy Grail, which was the being top of the Premier League. So we're in the wilderness and that, and then obviously Rodgers turned up. Well, before that we had Hodgson, didn't we? And I still remember that Blackpool game. I could still remember his interview when asked about our Liverpool Football Club in a relegation battle, and he said yes, they were. That's probably the lowest of the low that I've ever heard from a manager of Liverpool Football Club. And then Rodgers came in, should have won the league. He should have won the league with that team. And the writing was on the wall because he wasn't making the right substitutions. And then Jurgen came in and reformed the club. And I'd have to say, on and off the pitch, he did that, you know, with him and his staff coming in. And just like good things, you know, everything comes to an end. And it was his time to go. He'd done what he could. He said he was out of energy, he had no energy left. He left a good squad that also had no energy left at the end of last season. And it's the same squad that he's not getting through these games at this latter stage. So let's look at our team. Like I said, I wouldn't have put Kelleher in goals. We could do nothing at right back. Jarell Kwanzaa did all right. He's not a right back, is he? But Onslaught did say in his preview presser that Endo can play there, Jones could play there, but he opted to play Jarell. Ibu and Virg. I thought Virgil van Dijk was poor, very poor. Ibu was trying his best to win his battles, but I just thought Virgil was. I blame him for the second goal, if I'm honest with you. Okay, the ball should never have come in from. We are getting into trouble from crosses that are coming in when there are 2v1 or 2v2 situations. We are not handling that very well. Isaac took his goal well. You know, we deserve to be 2-0 down. And then, as I say, the plethora of changes were made. Yeah, so Robbo can't win balls in the air anymore. That ball came from a long, long way for him to win that header, but he got out-jumped for that second goal. Yeah, midfield, we were just bullied. Maka was bullied. Dom was bullied. He tried to do something. Gravenberg didn't have time on the ball. We had no form of pattern. We did not have a creative player. It was only when Jones came on we had a bit of impetus in the middle of the park. And then up front, Diaz just frustrated me from minute one. Absolutely frustrated me. He's just a one-trick pony on the left-hand side. Jota's just gone anti. He's completely gone. Since he's come back from his injury, he's not give us anything. So, yeah, he was. And then Mo. That's the most disappointing thing about me. Somebody gave me a stat this morning of our finals with Mo in. and they're pretty poor. The comment to me was, he never turns up for finals, and yet he can turn up for league games and other games, but when it gets to the crunch, he's nowhere to be seen. I thought it was a bit harsh, that comment, but I understand it, and in some ways I have to agree with it. I also have to think he's on it's Ramadan month for all Muslims. He's a Muslim, and he follows the strict rules of that, the fasting and things. I'm just glad that's gonna be over end of this month, because we need the old Mo back. Between now and the 25th of between the 2nd of April and the 25th of May. But he was poor. Livramento had probably one of the easiest jobs playing against him. Mo couldn't track back, no energy. Yeah, so the subs. I saw all the comments last night on the train home, back from Liverpool. Chiesa should be given more minutes. Chiesa was a handful. He was winning little balls in the area, keeping it alive, won us some free kicks. The 2-3 minute stoppage for his goal was an absolute shocker from VAR. What that idiot in the VAR was looking for, I have no idea. He was miles onside, absolutely miles onside. The communication, I thought the referee had a bad game for both teams, if I'm honest with you. And Jones came on, tried to do things. Elliott came on, tried to do things. Gakpo came on. Gakpo still looked injured. We missed Trent. So Nunes, the annoying thing for me about Nunes is when he was getting ready to come on, he was sat on the steps putting his boots or lacing his boots up, and he was shaking his head like that while one of the coaches was speaking to him or something. He was just shaking his head. Now, I don't know whether that was, well, you're bringing me on and we're 2-0 down. I should have started. But he did nothing at all to help the team. So yeah. And finally, I just have to mention Onslaught. It's a baptism of fire for him this first season. Yeah, we're top of the league. Nobody expected us to be top of the league. They expected to be a fall-off after Jurgen Klopp had gone. Well, probably this is the fall-off. But we've had this fall-off when Jurgen Klopp was in charge. So Onslaught should have learned from Southampton's game, the game against PSG for this final. He should have learned of the 2 Newcastle games that we've already played this season. And to me, he hasn't. He's got found out as well. And the other thing is, he said he likes using 14, 15 players. Well, you can't. You've got to use at least 22 players, at least, in a season when you're competing in the Premier League. So maybe he has time for reflection about what he's done in the last fortnight, about picking the team. Yes, he would have found out a lot of answers from the players that have been performing this season, the players that should not be kept, should be moved on. But there's other factors that we should take into consideration, and the main factor is that these 3 contracts, it's shocking for a club of Liverpool stature for those 3 contracts to be not sorted out. There's other contracts to be sorted out. Alisson, Ibu, others as well. Am I liking this Edwards and Hughes combination? No. The reason for that is the silence is deafening. Yes, they are in off-field management, but the results are on the field and they are part of it. Edwards is head of footballing operations for FSG. Hughes is the one to bring players in, move players on, and help the coach to get players that will play the Liverpool way. But these 3 contracts now, heading into April, is a bit of a disgrace for me now. I thought they would have sorted out. They've let January go. Well, in fact, they should have been sorted out in the summer. Everybody should have known where they stood. It's just leaving a sour taste in my mouth, and I think this has to be down to the people that are in charge. Said that Edwards left because he didn't have a relationship with Jurgen Klopp anymore, but he obviously came back. Jurgen was going, but I don't think he's done a good job. They're saying Hughes was instrumental in getting Onslaught to Liverpool, but it just doesn't stop there, does it? We bought Chiesa in, 10 million. That's pocket money to Liverpool as transfers go. Chiesa had been knocking on the door. He didn't have a good FA Cup game against Plymouth, but it was the first, I said on that post-match, it was the first time that he played with most of those players, and they were not good. He was trying to do something. He was trying to be effective in that game, but as I said, that he needs to be playing with better players, because that's when you get the best out of him. Took his goal really well, held off the defender and wrong-footed Pope. For me, he should be given more minutes, and I'm hoping from his cameo that he is given those minutes. But yeah, just getting back to the 3 non-contracts, it is leaving a sour taste, and the season, if we weren't top of the league, the season would have petered out just like last season, be it that we won the Carabao Cup. So it's just one of those. I said I didn't know how long this video would take. I think I've done it for half an hour. You might think it's half an hour of waffling, but it's not really. It's just my opinion. If you think your opinions are better than mine, please send them to me. Let's have a discussion. Open and honest, as I am on socials, when people give their opinions. But what I can't accept is losing a final when the team doesn't turn up. The kids put on a better performance last season against Chelsea. That would have been our, 3rd Carabao in 4 years, 5 years. If we'd have won yesterday, that would have been some good achievement by this team. But yeah, so we get this international 2-week break, which I'm not a fan of. We can't regroup because the players will come back up from all over the world, and Onslaught will just have 1 or 2 days on the training pitch, maybe 3 or 4, or even a week. I'm not so sure when the players come back. And we've got the Merseyside derby. Massive game. Now, if you talk about cup finals, after what happened at their place when we should have got the 3 points. That is a game that the players must be up for the fight, and Onslaught has to pick the correct team for me. Okay, that's enough from me. I'm still mad. I'm still annoyed. Good job I'm off for a couple of days. I'm having my tattoo done tomorrow, so I'm quite happy about that. Yeah, enjoy the break. I'll speak to you guys for the preview of the Everton game. Hopefully I've got my fingers crossed I can get a ticket for that game, because I'd like to go and watch that game. Hopefully we give a good performances. Okay, if you like this video, please give me a like. Please share it. If you're new to the channel, watching it for the first time, and you like the content, and please subscribe to the channel. It's free. We're trying to get 100 subscribers by the end of the season. Okay, as I said, enjoy your break, and I will speak to you soon. Up the Reds.